What is up, good people? And welcome to the All Basketball Podcast. And I'm your host, Maurice Dixon. And first off, happy Easter, happy Resurrection Sunday. Once again, I'm thankful to be able to celebrate another Resurrection Sunday, celebrate the fact that my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ arose 2,000 plus years ago. So I might have a chance at the tree of life and my sins to be forgiven, our sins to be forgiven. I just wanted to say that first off, but this is another episode of just my thoughts, and gonna be mainly dealing in the college game today. The men on the men's side specifically, and wow, what a game last night between Gonzaga and UCLA, 93-90 in overtime. Freshman Jalen Suggs from just inside half court off the glass to send Gonzaga to the championship game to face Baylor and the crazy and keep the Zags undefeated season alive. Wow. What a shot. They didn't have any timeout, so it was no time to draw up anything after Johnny Juzang got his rebound and made that layup to tie the game up at 90. Jalen Suggs just took the inbounds pass and went down and made one of the greatest shots in college basketball history. You'll be seeing it from now on. As much as I hate to say it, it's like you're gonna be seeing it like the Christian Laettner shot. Uh, Even for UCLA in '95, the shot Tyus Edney made, Bryce Drew with that crazy shot he made off a hook and ladder. It was pretty much his teammate caught the long inbounds pass and passed it to him as he came towards him, and he drilled a shot. And there have been some others I can't name at the moment, but that Jalen Suggs shot was off the glass. You would like for it to go in all net or not hit the glass, so it wouldn't seem as off of a shot, even though it was still on. But it was off perfectly. If you want to put it that way, I'd say. And but yeah, just what a clutch moment. And I was low key going for UCLA. I wasn't fervently behind them, but I like the way they had been playing. Once I kind of seen them play, they had been playing since the first four, since they beat Michigan State, and I was impressed with Juzang's game. Uh, Jaime Jaquez, he played well for them too, and also Jules Bernard. Just thought all those guys had really good skill sets, really good one-on-one players, but they seem to play together well, and they obviously gelled at the right time of the year. I mean, had a pretty good record. I think they were somewhere in the 18-7 range before that game or something, but had a pretty good record. Played in the Pac-12. They had a lot of teams still in the tournament late with USC and Oregon State and even Oregon. So their conference proved to be one of the best, even though it wasn't catching major attention or getting a lot said about it during the season. But yeah, I mean, UCLA played well, and Juzang had a great game. He had help this game. It wasn't like last game when they beat to get into the Final Four, when they had to grind their way past Michigan, winning by 2, and he was a major player. I mean, all kinds of shots, threes, mid range, getting to the lane, uh, just scoring on at every level of the floor. But he had a lot of help this game, and they played the game. They probably heard all the noise that, okay, the betting odds said Gonzaga was going to win this game like they did the others by double digits, and that wasn't the case. I mean, UCLA led early. They played well early. They even slowed the pace down. They didn't even run in transition off Gonzaga's misses. They just Mick Cronin wanted them to play. I had them playing a very slowly paced game, but it still got up into they still ended up scoring 90 points and pretty much kept up with Gonzaga, who was definitely an offensive juggernaut. But uh, yeah, Juzang got the help he needed, and they just can't came up short. Great game though. I saw most of it. Obviously, the end, and they play pretty good defense on Gonzaga. Gonzaga runs a lot of actions, a lot of back screens, cuts, uh, some of everything. It's not a heavy pick and roll offense, a lot of movement, but they switch when they needed to. They cut off those rolls to the rim and played a great game, but unfortunately, just somebody had to lose. And I mean, Drew Timmy had a big game for Gonzaga. Ayayi, I think I'm pronouncing it right. He had a big game, started well, but when it came down to it, it's just best player on the court, I guess. And one of the younger players, Jalen Suggs, just shined. Before I break down that final play, from some things I thought didn't go, some things I saw that maybe UCLA could have done better. When Suggs, the UCLA player, screamed the point guard Tiger. I'm not getting his thinking of his last name right now. I know his first name is Tiger. Smallest guy on the court. Perfect screen and roll play. Suggs recovered, blocked the big guy's shot, then got the retrieved the ball, threw a perfect bounce pass to Timmy for a jam. Pretty sure that was a tie the game up at like 79, something like that. But unfortunately, there was a little controversy on the play, and there always has to be controversy. First, I thought he fouled dude, kind of got him on the right wrist. I didn't think it was clean as it could have been, but it wasn't I mean, it was close. It wasn't just like he hammered down on dude's wrist. I mean, he caught a lot of the ball, but he did catch some of his wrist and kind of hand in a sense. And then number two, I saw that he went out of bounds and he got the ball. And usually the rule is you can't be the first person to touch the ball once you come back in bounds. But it's kind of a funny play because you got guys running off screens. They'll sometimes be sent out of bounds or go out of bounds, and they'll come right off the curl and shoot. So um, maybe a missed call there, but I mean, beautiful pass. I mean, just what a sequence from offense to defense to offense to keep them in the game, because that I think that could have put UCLA up by 4 at that point, but they still came back. Then for the Bruins, I didn't like now in college they do assume they do. I've been on this for years. The refs assume charge. They're ready to call charge, man. It's like it's ingrained in their DNA from the academy or something. I mean, almost everything is a charge, even when you have guys sliding under. Um, Guys are clearly in the air. They don't have any room to come down. They come down charged. But Drew Timmy, even though he had 4 fouls, rotated perfectly, got that charge call against Juzang. But I didn't. I know he's playing basketball. It's easy to look back and play Captain Hindsight when everything all vision is 2020. But I felt like Juzang would have had a better chance of maybe pulling up for his mid-range shot at that point. And who knows, maybe he makes it. The Bruins are probably at that point, because it was less than a second left. They're going to the national championship game, but he decided to go over to the hole and couldn't shift enough. And Timmy stepped in there and took that charge. But then Juzang, he was redeemed himself in overtime, even though they were pointing out, the announcers, Bill Raftery and Grant Hill were pointing out that they put Mark Few, I guess, made the adjustment to put Suggs on Juzang, and that kind of slowed him up or made it tough for him to get the ball. But he missed that shot, got his own rebound, and laid it up with like 3 seconds left. But it was almost like, and like I said earlier, Gonzaga didn't have any timeouts, so they had to go with it. So as Suggs went to the ball, I don't know how much communication was out there, but who I was pointing out earlier, Tiger Campbell, he I would assume, okay, Suggs is a point guard, you're the point guard, probably that's your man, but he was on the other side of the court. Juzang was kind of close to Suggs, but nobody picked up. It's almost like they assumed, okay, they don't have any timeouts. They got to go the full length of a court. It's going to be a prayer of a shot. So long as we're matching up in the vicinity, the shot's probably going to miss, and we're probably going to a second overtime. But I didn't like how they almost, like I said, they assumed, oh, a second overtime is coming. Just make sure we don't give up nothing too easy. Suggs gets the ball. Nobody matches up tight. I mean, I guess Campbell couldn't get over there. So the closest man is, and everybody was backpedaling, but kind of matching up because everything was moving so fast. And so that leaves David Singleton. He's right there. I know that young man is wishing he and as he's backpedaling, nobody presses up on. He doesn't press up on Suggs. Nobody else. I mean, you need to match up because we don't need to give up a layup off a make with little time as it was left. So Singleton just puts his arms up because obviously you don't want to foul him. You know how guys flail today and make more out of contact than what it is a lot. So you don't want to foul him, but I know he's wishing, man, if I would have just jumped a little bit or just made it, just didn't let him get that clean of a look, because obviously it went in. Now, if it didn't go in, yeah, you made the right play. You didn't foul him, but it went in. It's like, close out harder or make it a tougher shot. But it's easy to say, definitely sitting in this chair, looking at the replay, but real time, you just thinking don't foul, and we're going to overtime. But big shot by Suggs, man. That was definitely something's going to be on one of the highlights of his basketball resume. And I got to give a shout out to my homeboy Henry Hudson. He had texted me saying, basically what a shot by Suggs, but why did he jump on the table and to yell at a bunch of cardboard cutouts? Well, hey, when you make, I never made a shot that big, but when you make a big shot, you never know how you're going to react. I hit one at LA Fitness back in 2007 when I first got down here in Atlanta to end the game. Definitely not the magnitude of that, but I created a steal, went down, guy went to the paint. He found me on the wing. I buried that shot because everybody pretty much thought we were done. Gym exploded. I just started banging on the wall. And I remember a guy, he imitated me down there, I guess, because so sometimes you just don't know how you're going to react because the adrenaline's pumping, you're so excited, and you just won. So, and I saw on Twitter, Suggs said he always wanted to do that, have a chance to jump on the scores table like Kobe and like Dwayne Wade. So he got his chance. Wade tweeted saying he jumped on his table. So hey, that's sports, that's competition, that's the beauty of it. And you just never know how you're going to react sometimes when in that clutch moment when you make that clutch shot. So big ups to Jalen Suggs. They move on. It's tomorrow night, championship game. They got Baylor. I guess he may be matched up against Davion Mitchell, who from a distance, if you don't know anything, you just watch NBA. And I noticed this a few months ago before it kind of became before I got around and everybody was saying it. But Davion Mitchell, he wears number 45, moves a lot like Donovan Mitchell. So I looked it up trying to see, hey, is this guy, is that his brother or cousin? But they're of no relation, but dude moves just like him on the court. He uh so he's gonna be a key factor on that the Baylor squad. So you got two number one seeds matching up after Baylor pretty much end of that end of that first half. They moved away from Houston, held two of their play, went up 45-20 and went on to win 78-59. So that's the matchup in the final game of the men's college basketball season. The championship game is going to be Baylor and Gonzaga. And Mitchell had 11 assists in that game, 12 points. The leading scorer was Butler. So we'll see how it goes down. Hoping for another competitive game. I say I don't have any skin in the game, so whoever wins. Maybe as the game progresses, I'll kind of decide who I'm rooting for. But I think I'm going to go at Gonzaga. I mean, I figure, hey, guys are undefeated. Go ahead and finish it off. Become the first team to finish undefeated since Indiana did it. I think that was 79. Was it Isaiah Thomas on that team? Bobby Knight's the head coach. Go ahead and finish this thing out perfectly, man. There've only been so many perfect teams to get close since then. 2015 Kentucky, but they fell short in the Final Four. And if I'm not missing anyone, the one that really hurt me was UNLV falling to Duke in 91 in the Final Four. Close game, but Duke went on and won that one and avenged that 30-point blowout from the previous season, which I enjoyed so much. I didn't see it, but I remember waking up and seeing that score and was just being so happy that they had lost. See, this Carolina Duke thing runs deep and it's been running for a long time now. But hopefully we get a good championship game to cap this season. I'm glad that the teams were able to get through most of them without having COVID issues. And we had a tournament this year because last year there was no tournament. So pretty sure guys are appreciative. Everyone, coaches, everybody, schools, for being able to get to the championship game. And so you have Baylor and Gonzaga for it all. And next, I want to move on to something I thought was an April Fool's joke, to be honest. And that was Roy Williams announcing his retirement from the University of North Carolina after 18 seasons. And when I first saw the tweet by the university or someone who runs a Twitter account for Carolina that's verified on Twitter about thanking Coach Williams for his tenure, I was like, hold up, it's April 1st. This isn't true. And then do a little research, getting text messages. I'm just saying it's an April Fool's joke. But Fox Sports News, ESPN, it's all running across the bottom of the television screen. And I'm just like, man, this is going to be one of the biggest April Fool jokes we've seen in a minute. And so I'm just, okay, they say it's a press conference at 4:00. We'll know for sure then. And as true as it was, 4:00, Roy Williams came out there and he announced that was it. He felt like he did what he had to do, and he was not the right person for the job anymore. And it was emotional and surprising to me, but I know he wasn't going to coach forever, but I kind of just lost track of the fact that, okay, wow, he was 70. And so, not saying he didn't have more to give, or he didn't have much more anything else to more that he wanted to accomplish, but he was 70, had been dealing with the vertigo thing for a while, and he would be, we got used to seeing him go down to his knees on the sideline, just vertigo kick in, and he'd have to take a moment and he'd be okay. And then he says, I know he had the hip issue. It just comes with the wear and tear of coaching. So he so he called it a career. But 903 wins, won 77% of his games. And two distinctions he does have is he's the fastest to win 900 games in Division One, and then the only coach to win 400 or more games at two programs. So for those of you who don't know, Coach Williams he was the head coach at Kansas for like 15 seasons, and then came back home to Carolina in 2003. Ended up getting the championship in 2005, 2009, and 2017. Finished up 3-1 at Carolina in championship games, 3-3 overall in championship games. And so and his record at Carolina was 485 to 163 losses. That's 70. That means he won 75% of his games. So nothing definitely disappointing. Nothing to be to just dismiss. I feel like Coach Williams came and did the job we wanted him to. Came back home after Dean Smith retired. Then we had Bill Guthridge for a few years, but he was up in age too. So after a few years, he got to the Final Four with he got back to the Final Four with Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson. Then after that, he moved on. Then we went and hired Matt Doherty, who was played for the program, having success at Notre Dame. So he came back to Carolina. It was looking okay, and then it got real shaky. Everybody was talking about Sean May, Rashad McCants, Raymond Felton. Everybody was going to lead the program, and Doherty didn't come off of that last season of his. Wasn't a great season. I think around like a 500 season. And so people felt like we made a mistake. This isn't working. So we need to find the man. And then I don't know if Roy Williams' contract was up at Kansas or he hadn't renegotiated, but got back to the final against Syracuse, lost a close one. Jerry McNamara and Carmelo Anthony was just too much. 2003 title game, and then everybody started talking about Roy needs to come home. Roy needs to come home. Carolina. The university was like, we need you. We're trying to keep this thing going. We want to keep it in the family, and we got more. We want to have more success ahead. We're expecting more success ahead. So he came on back, and then within 2 years took Doherty's recruits, made McCants, Felton, Jawai Williams, freshman Marvin Williams, and they got that championship. 4 years later, Tyler Hansborough, Wayne Ellington, Danny Green, Ty Lawson got another championship. And then so close in 16 with Marcus Page. Man, I wish that guy would have been able to get one. Joe Barry, Kennedy Meeks, Bryce Johnson, Justin Jackson, but Page made one of the craziest shots. He didn't want to shoot it because he was looking to pass and he was caught in the air because I guess he knew the pass would be a turnover. He just launched up a deep three and it went in. I remember jumping off the couch and just grabbing my knee because I was having some knee issues at at that moment in my life. And he buried that shot, but Archie Diacono, they drew up that perfect play, and he handed that ball right off to like a little flare screen to Chris Jenkins, and the Bryce Johnson was in the lane. That was his man, and Isaiah Hicks made the right switch just to give it a contest, but Jenkins buried the shot, and I knew it was going in. I was sitting there, I was like, that shot's good, and for sure it was. But much credit to that team. They didn't have Page that next year, but Barry, Meeks, Jackson, Hicks, they all came back. A few other guys on a roll, and we beat Gonzaga 2017 to redeem the program from such a painful loss, because that was the first time Carolina, in my lifetime, Carolina lost championship game. I saw them win in 93. Like I said, 05, 09. So at that point, we were, from since I've been watching, we've been perfect in championship games, but that can probably going to only last for so long. But like I said, finished 3-1 in championship games at Carolina after he couldn't get it done in 2 chances at Duke. But I know that on the other side, people were ready for Coach Williams to go. I can understand it to an extent, but I was more so, and those rumblings, those complaints had been going on for a while, and I always would counter with, well, who else you gonna replace him with? Who should we get? A lot of times people said George Karl or maybe some other guys, but obviously then, within that time he got them back to the championship game, got another title under his belt, and then there have been other criticisms, sometimes with the defense, the mentality of the defense of protecting the 3-point line. Seems like we've been in a lot of games where we just got burned from 3. The last game he coached, Wisconsin burned us from 3. And I guess the philosophy always wasn't to play the greatest of defense. The philosophy was to play the game inside out and push the tempo, makes or misses. All those Carolina teams I mentioned, they pushed the tempo on, they put the pressure on you offensively. The 05, 09, and 17 squad, it was always put the pressure on you offensively. And that 09 squad, Hansborough senior year, with Danny Green and Wayne Ellington, Ty Lawson, they said they almost set a record. They pretty much won they beat Michigan State in the final. They won every game by double digits. So they made a little bit of history by doing that. So it was always push the tempo. And then there was always a thing with timeouts. Roy left so many timeouts on the table. Shout out to you, Parrish, bringing it up the other day when we talked. But yeah, I guess he believed timeouts were for TV. But we always left plenty of timeouts on the table. I've experienced some of the most heartbreaking losses when we maybe could have called timeout or could have fouled or did something to change the outcome. Just bad turnovers, meltdown type plays. But yeah, so you have to take the good with the bad, or the bad with the good. And also, as far as stacking up against the rival, against Duke, Coach Williams' record against Coach Mike Krzyzewski was 19-25, not all compiled at Carolina, but just over the tenure of his career. But he won the last 2. They swept Duke, and I think they won the think it was he ended up winning his last three against him, but didn't have the in the overall standings. He didn't have the better record against Coach K, and that's understandable because it's recognized that Coach Krzyzewski is a greater coach, maybe one of the greatest coaches in college to have to have coached college basketball. So no shame in that. Now I do wish Coach Williams had a better record against Coach K, and because in close games he was only 1-7, and you talking about some heartbreakers, man. I mean, uh, at Duke, close game. I don't know what David Noel was doing back in '05. He just pretty much dribbled the ball out of bounds. They had locked up the play that Felton was going to McCants. They they had knew the play and stopped it, and then Carolina just kind of panicked. Then you have other games where Duhan made that clutch layup to win, and Austin Rivers he gets that switch. I don't know what Reggie Bullock was thinking. He gets that switch onto Tyler Zeller. Austin Rivers nails a three. Uh, just some bad clutch moments. I can't remember. I know the game Kenny Meeks threw the ball out of bounds, tried to throw a full court pass. I can't remember. I think Carolina lost that game too. I know it was at Duke. But yeah, just some tough battles. But one thing, when Tyler Hansborough was there, he never lost to Cameron. So that was 4 straight seasons that Coach Williams and Carolina won at Cameron Lindo Stadium. Shout out to Psycho T for putting in major work against the rival and winning all 4 of his games in Cameron. But that one crazy thing, that one, I was at that game. Thanks to my homeboy Anthony Isley and his brother-in-law. Happened, he had a connection, and he happened to get me, Henry, Mike, and Mike up into the Dean Dome. And first Carolina game. Carolina Duke. So they pull out these seats for us, makeshift seats, place is packed. And we sit up there because we're supposed to be some kind of recruits. So Carolina's down, man. It's looking bad. We're clearly the better team, but JJ Redick, Daniel Ewing, Sheldon Williams, they're giving us problems. But they make a comeback. And then next thing you know, Marvin Williams banks in a shot and the place explodes to pretty much cap the comeback. I didn't even know it was an and one. It was so loud. Now you can go back and look at it on YouTube, and you can hear how loudly that place erupted when he made that bank shot. But 2005, 25 at the time, just from me saying, hey man, I'm coming down from Connecticut. We should go to the Carolina Duke game, just kind of saying it casually, and it came to pass. So that just shows you right there how powerful words definitely can be. Just by me saying that, I ended up at a Carolina game, my first one, Carolina Duke. Who would have thought? But thanks to Ant and his brother-in-law for making that happen and allowing us to be able to get up in there and experience the seeing that championship team in person. So yeah, I just remember seeing Coach Williams when they were making that comeback. He was on the sideline, took off the jacket. He was ecstatic, screaming, just trying to push those guys and encourage them to come back. Because I guess he was tired of losing to Duke, tired of losing to Coach K, because Coach K beat him in a national championship game. And he had the better record against him. So yeah, even though he had just gotten to North Carolina, hadn't been there that long, but I got to start beating this guy. We gotta keep beating our rival. We can't be getting swept or embarrassed by our rival. We got to beat our rival. Yeah, they're going to beat us sometimes, but we gotta we gotta keep this thing close. Keep this thing a rivalry. It's a point that word is used because it's usually very competitive, and that usually means these teams are equally built, and it's going to be it's close competition. But yeah, I was in favor of Coach Williams. Didn't really have a problem. Didn't agree with all his maybe philosophy as far as playing better defense or not calling timeouts maybe at the right time. But other than that, I didn't really have a big problem with him. And I felt like he got his job done. He may not go down as being one of the greatest coaches, maybe more known of a great recruiter. Maybe people may feel like, yeah, he had talent, so he was supposed to win, uh, but at least he knew how to handle talent. He didn't disappoint too often when it came to having talent. Uh, and so he's from the Carolina family. And during his tenure, he got the job done. He kept the program on the positive side. Kept Carolina on the top of the ACC standings, in the Final Four, in the tournament, um, competing against Duke, beating our other rivals, and kept the program going in the right direction. And so we just hope whoever comes in next does the same thing. We just I'm just hoping there isn't another Matt Doherty moment where we have to go through the worst of it before it gets better. Even though I think Matt Doherty was that 2000 team with Forte and Hayward, I think he was the coach, but I'm not sure. I think he was, and they went on that crazy run. But yeah, so crazy run to the Final Four. But some are saying, I mean, there are odds out there, names are being thrown out. Plenty of Carolina alumni who have coaching experience. You have Wes Miller at UNC Greensboro, not a major program, but he does have success. Jerry Stackhouse at Vanderbilt, but yet to have any success, but maybe he doesn't have the crop of talent that you put him at Carolina. He's getting it's a basketball school. Kids, some of the best kids are going to want to come there. Then they know it's Jerry Stackhouse, so that makes it cool. Hubert Davis has been Coach Williams' assistant for 10, 11 years. So he may have the best chance just to move up into that head seat. Coach Robinson, who has Steve Robinson, who has head coaching experience, he has a chance to maybe move into that head seat. He's been an assistant with Coach Williams for a while as well. He was even with them at Kansas. So, and you have other people out there, but it just depends on how they want to keep it. If they want to keep it in the family, I mean, I think I would say bring in a young good coach. I mean, we don't. I know Larry Brown's still coaching, but we don't need Larry Brown or Rick Pitino. I'm just listing off some of the people on the who there are betting odds that they're looking at as maybe the next coach. I would say a younger coach or elevate Hubert Davis. He's been there for a while, and give the programs the diversity. I know I heard when Dean Smith stepped away, he wanted Phil Ford to become the head coach, but it didn't work out. But just to get some diversity up in there, get a younger guy who's been there, who's been recruiting as well. Let's see what Hubert Davis has to offer. Or doesn't work out. Yeah, you got Wes Miller. I know from the late '80s team, King Rice is coaching, but I didn't see his name. I know he was coaching at some point, but I don't know if he's currently coaching at the moment. But his name wasn't mentioned. But and I would go against someone, guys like Hansborough or Vince Carter or maybe Rasheed Wallace. I feel like they should get some coaching experience first, but just my thoughts. But whatever happens, whoever it is, I just hope the university makes the right decision and this person keeps that train rolling in the right direction. That's all I ask for as we go into this next phase for the Carolina, new phase for the Carolina program. It doesn't seem like it, but yeah, it's been 18 years with Coach Williams, and now it's time for somebody else to step up and keep everything going in the right direction. So we'll see how that shakes out. See how this championship game shakes out tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna be watching. And like I said, probably rooting for Gonzaga. Go ahead and finish perfect. But that's my time, folks. Want to wish the homie Robert Bodison a happy 41st birthday. Uh on this Resurrection Sunday. Man, it's been 20 years since we were moving to our apartment in Lawndale Square, and when we were at A&T trying to get through Miss Tonkin's reporting techniques class. Doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has. But hope you're enjoying your birthday, man. Want to give you a shout out. I want to thank you guys. Thank everybody for listening. You can find the All Basketball Podcast, on all your major podcast platforms. Spotify. It's on Anchor as well. Stitcher, Apple, Google, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. And if you want to see the visuals, just search All Basketball Podcast on YouTube. Thank you once again for listening. I'm your host, Maurice Dixon. And until next time, peace and be blessed in Jesus' name.